Hello everyone, this is 48 hours after the Keepers of the Flame League started. This is my build update. It's basically exactly as I planned it out in my last video, and I just did the obvious gear progression of just getting better stats and all the gear, and getting a good amulet and ring for damage, and I'm wearing the Burden of Truth crystal belt. So if you didn't see the last video, I'm using Soulrend with Profane Bloom to do chaos dot to enemies, and then when they die, they explode and do chaos damage to the enemies around them. It's really good clear. You don't have to use Contagion as if you were using Essence Drain, so you save a lot of sockets, so you can put on a lot of other good stuff. That's why I like Soulrend on chaos dot builds. But I do also use Essence Drain for single target, and then also this gives you some life regen while you're fighting a boss, so it's really good. And then I use Blight of Contagion for damage also, because you kind of just have time to cast Soulrend, Blight of Contagion, Soulrend, hit him with Essence Drain. Essence Drain lasts a long time, so just go back and forth here, Soulrend, Essence Drain. It's basically your single target. You just stand there and do that over and over till the enemy dies. And we are very tanky. We have 9,000 health pool. We have like 33,000 armor when our flask is on. And we block a enemy, and we block all the time. It gives us another 800 armor because of the notable on the tree. And we use Vow Molten Shell, or just regular Molten Shell, and we also have Flesh and Stone. So we have a lot of health pool and damage reduction and a lot of stuff going for us, and also 73 block. Okay, so for the gear, I'm still using the Cane of Unraveling. I'm trying to craft a staff now that will give me +5 to all my Chaos spell skill gems, and a lot of dot multi, like a little bit of increased damage. Once I get done with that, I'll switch to that and probably make a video on how to do that switch. I'm kind of just taking a lot of L's on the crafting right now, so I keep farming up, losing, farming up, losing, so hopefully that goes through today at some point. But for the rest of the armor, I've just been getting this from the Genesis tree. There's a lot of videos on this now, but this thing's really, really good. These are all the nodes that I'm using. Here, I just reduced the chances of mana modifiers. I just picked fire modifiers because I just wanted it to pick a suffix, or like fire res as a suffix, because I want one of the suffixes to be resistances. And then defense modifiers for, this is how I craft my body armor. For my gloves and boots and helmet, I didn't care so much about the defense mods as the prefixes. I wanted life on them, so instead of picking defenses, I picked life here. And then you can copy everything else, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, if you want gloves or boots, you pick those on here. But yeah, this is just really OP for getting starter gear, and you should be using it. But as I said, I just try to get like perfect prefixes on a body armor, and I basically got it, and it's giving me a lot of armor and energy shield. And these are getting, like, these values are getting buffed really heavily from this mastery here, the 100% increased armor and energy shield on your body armor, as long as your helmet, gloves, and boots are also armor and energy shield, in which they are. Again, I don't care about the prefixes being defensive, just I want life on them because we are kind of hybrid still. Eventually I will switch to low life and energy shield, but that's in the future still. And also try and get some life regeneration on the suffixes, because I'm using life tap as my supports and all my damaging skills, because it just takes so much to cast Soulrend. Soulrend's such an expensive spell, and I feel like this is the least investment way to solve that. So that's what I'm doing. Otherwise you could use like Clarity or something. I don't know why this isn't on, but yeah, my mana pool is really low. I'm only using my mana for my Leap Slam and my Frostblink, and then the rest is just being taken from my life, but I have a lot of life regen, and then life gain on kill, and then a life flask. That's giving me life instantly. So I don't just randomly run out of life ever. I don't think I've ever died from losing my life while having energy shield. And then the rest of the gear is just get resistances and movement speed on your boots. For my amulet, all that I cared about on my amulet is +1 to level of all chaos skill gems, and damage over time multiplier. I just bought 2 rare amulets that had those mods. It's hard to get damage over time multiplier on an amulet. You just have to chaos spam normally, and then but the +1 to level of all chaos skill gems you can get from reforging chaos on the harvest bench. But yeah, you just get 2 rare amulets and you slam them into the recombinator using the unpredictable recombination where it combines all the mods together and always succeeds. I mean, you won't always get all the mods you want, but that's all I did to get this, and luckily I got some energy shield that's cool, and I got strength and dexterity as the implicit on this amulet because we need a lot of strength for determination, which is here. I definitely know that. And then the higher dexterity, the better, because I don't think void manipulation takes too much. It's like 74, but you can have a higher level faster attacks, so you can move around faster with leap slam if you have a bunch of dexterity. For my ring, I got an Iolite ring, and I just bought essences of horror and spammed those until I got some amount of life on the prefix. And then you either craft on increased damage on the prefix, or you craft on increased chaos damage on the suffix. And that's really all I cared about because I had resistances on everything else to make up for having no resistances here. But obviously, you can craft as good of a ring as you want. The optimal ring is fracturing the damage over time multiplier, and then this Essence of Envy gives increased chaos damage. So then you spam Essence of Envy until you get another mod that you want, and then you reforge something else on by locking prefixes or suffixes depending on what you need. And that's just how you make the best Chaos Dot ring, basically for any build that's using Chaos Dot. And then obviously the rings that give increased explicit modifiers are pretty good, but more expensive. And then you can use a reflecting mist to make these even better. But that's way down the line. I'm just saying. Then my mark of submission is how I'm hitting enemies and applying my curse to them so they explode when they die, obviously, and then I'm using despair. Okay, now the weird thing on the build, the Burden of Truth crystal belt. You don't see this on a lot of builds, and it doesn't work on a lot of builds. And I've actually tried it a few times, and it's just never panned out, but it works really good on this build. It does a lot of things, so just hold on. I'll explain it all. First off, it's giving us a lot of energy shield. It's giving us like 1300 here because of the implicit on it. And then like its second to last line, it says gain 12% of maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. It'll just 12% of our life is just added straight onto our energy shield, and that's not scaled by increased maximum energy shield at all, like these nodes on the tree. It's not boosted by that, but it's still really good. And so it's giving us energy shield. And then also one of the upsides is 33% of chaos damage taken does not bypass our energy shield. So in combination with this energy shield mastery, that's 63% of chaos damage does not bypass our energy shield. But I guess one of the this is, I guess, normally a downside, but it's not really a downside for this belt. We'll still talk about that. But one of the downsides of this belt is 33% of non-chaos damage taken bypasses energy shield. So that means 33% of physical, cold, lightning, fire will hit our life every time. And that includes damage over time and everything like that. So like righteous fire will go through and hit our life. Not that we're using it, but I'm just saying. And that's usually a bad thing, but this also gives us supreme decadence, which, does it say it here? Yeah. Life recovery from flasks also applies to energy shield. So basically, we have a instant recovery flask that will now recover our life and our energy shield at the same time. Okay, once my molten shell goes away, you'll see we're basically losing about the same amount of life and energy shield. We have like different forms of recovery, so they won't stay together the whole time. But once I heal myself with my flask, you'll see once we get hit, they go down about the same. And that's because we need a certain ratio to life and energy shield. It's basically how much life you have. It's like 1.66 times amount of energy shield you need to make this belt work correctly, because you don't want to run out of life before you run out of energy shield ever. So you need a certain amount of energy shield to make this work. And then there's really no point in scaling energy shield past that ratio also. So it just works right now. In the future, it won't work because it's going to be really hard to get more life on this build, but we can definitely fit in more energy shield. It's just right now there's no point to do that because if we get more energy shield, we're going to run out of life first, and that's just useless. But man, I wish these guys would damage me more because I just want to show you the life flask healing both at the same time. There, I did it there. When it goes down again, I'll do it. So yeah, the life flask heals both our life and energy shield. So it's just a nice oh shit button to have. And obviously the life is the most important thing, and we're recovering a lot of that with the flask. So this is just a really good belt that works really good just for this very moment in the build because it's getting us the energy shield we need to actually reach the right ratio of life and energy shield. And also we have so many defenses from other sources such as armor and block and flesh and stone to make this life pool of about like 9,000 just go a very, very long way. All right, and a quick look at the tree. Everything's basically pretty self-explanatory. These are all my block nodes. I get a lot of minion damage. I get life. My armor energy shield stuff is here. I'm taking the recover 5% of energy shield over 1 second. When you take physical damage from an enemy hit, it's really strong. I'll probably take this when I level up again. This is like the last stuff I took. You don't need this. This is literally just for the stats on here. Minions deal 20% increased damage. I think there's another one here. And then really the main reason I got it is 5% chance to gain a frenzy charge on kill. It was just conveniently priced, so I grabbed it because, again, I'm getting increases and reductions to minion damage, also affecting me. So just a good little thing to sock it in there. I'm not even taking the keystone that it gives me, since this is a timeless jewel. It's literally just for the damage and the frenzy charges for the time being. It probably won't be on the build for too long. But yeah, that's the tree. And then I'll run a map for you. Basically, the only mods that I don't run are reduced armor and block, and then less recovery rate, and you cannot regenerate life, energy, shield, and mana. Those are the ones that I don't run. Everything else is fine. Honestly, I'm surprised at how well this build runs minus maximum resistances. I don't need to run Delirium. I'm running stack decks. Until I get a better weapon, I'll probably move to T16 or T17s then. I can run T17s. It's just I don't do enough boss damage for it to really feel good. So I've just been running stack decks until then. The tree that I'm running is this. It's beyond ritual and explicit modifier effect. Oh yeah, in my flasks, it's just gain 3 charges when you're hit. I haven't even hit them with glass blowers yet. Because I want better suffixes on these. I crafted these all myself and then sold the ones that I didn't need until I got like decent suffixes. But yeah, you can see the suffixes aren't great. And then I get corrupted blood and bleed immunity on this. Right now, the biggest, what is it? The biggest weakness of the build is poison damage. My chaos res is kind of bad. It's like 8%. So fix that some way, somehow in the future. But, oh yeah, the other benefit of Life Tap is that our flasks recover increased life. So that just works well with the Supreme Decadence. I'm just dying to DoT on this map. My build's not looking good, I can tell you that right now. But it will. I mean, I'm talking to you and living, so. Oh my god. The red flash of the boss spawning scares me every time. I feel like I'm playing like Call of Duty. And I'm getting hit or something with bullets or I'm about to die. Oh yeah, and I forgot about it until I just used it there. But I'm using these two, are they graphs? I guess, yeah, the graphs. Dance in white, it creates an ice tornado. It's pretty good single target. There might be better single target. The only one that I tried besides this one is the hands that slam down. That shit was garbage. This one seems to do the best single target, which is what you need for Chaos DoT. And then also this one creates one of those lightning clones that walk over to enemies and explode and leaves shot ground. It does like 15% shock effect on the enemy. So, I mean, it's not great since we wither enemies, but it's something that increases our damage. And I did see that there are mods, like explicit mods for these graphs that increased non-damaging ailment effect. So that's what I would want on this one. This one I just basically have like increased damage. And then also these can have like increased spell damage, increased minion damage. This one has increased movement speed on the implicit, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, we'll just finish out the map. I probably won't pick up every stack deck because you don't need to watch that. I'll just come back later and do that, but just run through the map for you here. It's basically just casting Soulrend all the time until there's like an enemy that's too tough. Then you do some single target stuff on them. I want basic currency items to be duplicated because I'm running stacked decks. It's actually surprising how much I don't die to chaos damage. I guess it's because it's not really hitting through my energy shield because of my belt. So it doesn't feel as bad as it usually would, even with really low resistances. Also, if you want to run stacked decks, this strategy is actually really good. Usually I don't like running stacked decks unless I'm running 8-mod maps. I haven't tried to buy 8-mod maps yet, but I'm sure I could and run them just fine. But this has just been going really well. The beach map is not usually a map I run for this, but it's really good, and the reason I'm running it is because it's a natural tier 16 this league, so you can use the Orb of Horizon on any tier 16 and get a lot of the maps. So when I was trying to get a bunch of these maps to start, it was really easy to sustain. And like everything just spawns inside the rituals for some reason. Like even though the map's pretty big, stuff just loves spawning inside the rituals. So just works really good. These Beyond bosses do take a while to kill for sure, but we're tanky, so I usually just sit here and take everything besides the moves that take 3 seconds to charge up. Even though I could probably no problem. It's just kind of scary. The reason I'm running Beyond is because it does help out the ritual favor situation, like getting a bunch of it in the rituals, and then also Tainted Orbs of Fusing are worth quite a bit early league for a long time. I don't know which ritual I missed. I think I walked through one earlier, yeah. I mostly just fish for really expensive items and then grab whatever in the very last ritual. Just call it a day. I don't like spending too much time deferring and all that stuff and coming back and buying it. That's basically the build through a pretty normal map. It goes really fast. It's so tanky. I have no problem with breaches or anything because of block. It's just, I'm so happy with how it turned out. I really am. It still has a long way to go. Obviously, it's just in such a comfortable position where I can blast those maps until I get a good weapon, and then I'm probably gonna. I feel like I can get enough energy shield to go low life, and still keep the energy shield armor gear to get a lot of armor still. And then we'll see what I do from there. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, going low life will give us pain attunement, which I'll have to reroute over there. So drop these nodes, lose a lot of increased damage. But should be okay. I'll give you an update when I have one. I'll probably have some B-roll of bosses and stuff in the background when I'm talking. If not, then there's going to be a bunch of stuff after this. Just, I'm going to cut it in after the fact if you want to see more of the build. If you have any questions, let me know. I will put the POB with like DPS and some boxes checked in the description. If you need a guide, the last video was like a rough, more explanation of the leveling of the build and everything. Now that we're into the league, if you get these gloves when you're leveling with this build, holy shit. They are so good with spell totems and multiple spell totem support. That's why there's 2 reds. In like a normal league start situation, it'd be really hard to make this work because these are energy shield gloves and getting 2 reds would be kind of hard at the very beginning. Somehow I did just from hitting it with jeweler's orbs, like when I was putting the sockets on. So I ran this all the way through to Eater Exarch, and oh my gosh, man. The fact that you get a level 25 Blight skill and a 5 link from level 41 is insane when you just put it on spell totems because it doesn't use your mana and it's just so much damage. It's insane. The only problem is that on this build, we're using a unique ring and then unique gloves, so it does get hard to make your resistances work at the very beginning, especially when you go staff and you don't have a shield, so that was one of the problems when I was leveling, but it was just so powerful. I knew these gloves existed before, but obviously I didn't care that much because also the gloves that increase the level of Val Gems by 5 exist, so that seems better for self-cast. But for spell totems, holy shit, these gloves are just phenomenal. Like, I just randomly dropped these and made them work, and it was like a very lucky scenario. Not that this build can't do it without them, but now that we're late in the league, these are always going to be 1 chaos. So buy these if you're going to level with this build, and then use the spell totem like links that I had on my last video to level with Blight, and then add in either efficacy or control destruction. I don't know which one I didn't have in the other video. But yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.
Returned tenfold. Space aligns. Behold my connection. judgment inescapable.